Hello and welcome to Beatrice Weekly Podcast. Today I thought I would talk to you about stories, real gap stories. So there's a book that you can see on my podcast cover, which is called Gap Stories. It's a book where Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride has compiled testimonials that were sent to her by her clients. So I chose to read to you out loud today one of the testimonial in the book. It's chapter 5, Brenda Scott, real food farmer in Molalla, Oregon. The 6 of us have been on this diet for 1 year now. It all started with going gluten-free for a year. We had attempted gluten-free twice before that, but never wholeheartedly. One night, our son Isaac, 7 at the time, cried at the dinner table and asked why he didn't grow, even though he ate so much, and why the other kids on his soccer team were so much taller than him. This prompted our wholehearted effort toward gluten-free eating. Isaac was born at 26 weeks gestation, and since he started at only 1 pound 12 ounces, he has always been catching up. We had multiple tests done on him for lots of different things, and we never got any answers. He had a tube in his nose, an NG tube, for several months, and he had a G tube in his belly for a few years. He still didn't grow well. The 2 years before we went gluten-free, he stayed at 39 pounds for 2 years straight. The year we went gluten-free, he went up to 41 pounds. Not much, but a significant jump considering the lack of growth the year before. He had acid reflux and a low appetite. Many times he would have a hard time getting him to eat much at all. He didn't appreciate real food and would not eat eggs. Our second born, Caleb, was a sugar addict. We would often find him in the pantry, stealing chocolate chips, or we'll find a bunch of Hershey Kiss wrappers hiding behind the canned foods. He would fuss about not getting dessert. He was a moody, up-and-down kid. Our third son, Noah, has been lactose intolerant since we adopted him when he was 14 months old. He has also been little for his age, short plus underweight. He has also struggled with moodiness more severely than any of the other kids. He also had severe constipation and would often cry when he had to go to the bathroom and would hold it so that he didn't have to deal with the pain. Ruby, our adopted daughter, has only even been able to tolerate raw milk. Pasteurized milk product and all infant formula made her vomit. She was a sugar addict, especially when it came to chocolate. She's a big eater and big for her age. She's 3 and wears the same size clothes as Noah, who's 7. She didn't really need a new diet, but we thought it would not hurt her. My husband was pretty healthy, except that he had some weight to lose, had back issues every now and then, and often had low energy and suffered from psoriasis. Then there were my health. Our bodies are so complex, and my body was reminding me daily how complex it really is. Here were my issues. Often weak, even as a little kid. Tested for hypoglycemia and showed up borderline multiple times. Often felt blood sugar lows in between breakfast and lunch, and in between lunch and dinner. I had a secret stash of chocolate in the pantry to get me through those lows. Anemic. I felt like a rag doll many times, like it just took too much strength to lift up my own body. Acid reflux about every night, chest pain, heart palpitation, and periodic numbness in my left arm. Once my arm was numb for 11 hours, when I spent some time in the hospital ER with no answers found. Tummy aches often, diarrhea often, constipation often, numbness in my chin and jaw for a couple of months, strange muscle issues. Sometimes when I would grip something, the grip would not stop. My hand stayed stuck in that position. Very painful muscle cramps in my legs at night. Random itchiness all over. Arthritis in my hands and feet. Weak immune system. I caught everything that was going around. High serotonin. My dad had carcinoid syndrome, a familial cancer that involves tiny tumors that produce lots of serotonin. I was sensitive to all the high serotonin food, especially tomatoes, berries, peppers, and avocados. Canker sores, or whatever you call them. Little tiny bumps all over inside my mouth, often. The butterfly rash at times, lupus maybe, and flushing in my face whenever I had eaten something spicy or I would get stressed out. Earaches. I felt like food was going up inside my right ear and it hurt. IANA, autonuclear antibodies, which meant I had some kind of autoimmune disease. High thyroid antibodies, but normal thyroid hormone levels. So my own body was attacking my thyroid. My dad also had thyroid cancer and has had surgery plus radiation. Gum disease. I brushed my teeth well, at least twice a day, but I still had receding and very red gums. And I had some weight to lose. Gluten-free helped, but it was not enough. My arthritis and acid reflux went away, but I still felt weak and shaky. Isaac gained a little weight, but not enough. I was still catching everyone's colds and sore throats. I started looking into what our next options were, since gluten-free obviously was not enough for us. I was curious about my high serotonin. Isaac had high serotonin also. And when I Googled kids and high serotonin, everything I read was about kids with autism. So I started searching for the perfect autism diet, thinking we had something in common with autistic kids. I first read Breaking the Vicious Cycle about the SCD diet. When I began Googling SCD, I found out about GAPS. It was just what we needed. It was what I believe was healthy eating anyways. So let's begin our journey. After a year on the GAPS diet, I am happy to report Isaac is now 46 pounds and growing. He has so much more energy, and his face has more color. His acid reflux is gone. His appetite is way up. He can easily eat 5 eggs for breakfast. Caleb is no longer a sugar addict, and his moodiness has subsided. He has become an 8-year-old teacher about real food to everyone he knows. Noah is up to 40 pounds and growing. He does not struggle with constipation anymore at all. We're still working on his moodiness. Ruby continues to grow but is no longer addicted to chocolate. At 11, all of our kids started eating the vegetables better not longer after being on this diet. Taking out the sugar really helped their taste bud to start appreciating good food. My husband has lost about 40 pounds. He has not had back issues at all anymore, has more energy than he remembers ever having, and feels great. And me, every single symptom on that list is gone when I stick to the GAPS diet. There have been a couple of times that we have cheated, and my symptoms came back with a vengeance. But when we stick to GAPS, I'm able to live symptom-free, full of energy, and I feel healthy. I have not had my blood tests redrawn lately, ANA, thyroid, and serotonin, but I would not be surprised if they are lower as well, since all the symptoms they caused me are gone. I can now eat tomatoes and peppers with no problem. I have not tried avocados again because of the severity of my previous reaction, but someday I would like to try them again. I have lost about 40 pounds from a size 10 or 12 to a 2. I'm a small framed, so I finally feel like me. I love this diet. My family loves this diet, And I think so many people can be healed by it. I believe in this diet because I've seen it work for my family. You can read more on Brenda's blog at www.wellfedhomestead.com. She is now a big blogger and has a lot of recipes and good tips to add. There is a comment from Dr. Natasha at the end of this story. She says, "It is wonderful to see how so many seemingly unrelated health problems can disappear due to a single change in diet. This family of 6 all had different health challenges, from autoimmunity to hormonal and neurological symptoms. But what united them all were digestive problems. And as the digestive system started to heal in every family member, other symptoms and problems started melting away as well. All disease do truly begin in the gut." Thank you, Brenda, for sharing your family story with the world. So she said it again, Dr. Natasha, all disease do truly begin in the gut. And this has been my motto for the past 10, 20 years. It keeps being my motto. It's a stronger motto than ever. All disease start in the gut. Hippocrates said that. My teachers, when I was a very young student in naturopathy, said that. I didn't believe them at the time being. I was too young to know. But the more I practice, the more I know, the more I am convinced that all disease start in the gut. So these bizarre symptoms that this family had, they were all linked to gut dysbiosis. That's it. You fix the gut, you concentrate on gut flora, and a lot of your symptoms will melt away. They will disappear. This is One Gap Stories. In the book, there's 51 of them. In my clientele, there are 100 of them. In other GAPS practitioners' clientele, there are hundreds of them. We really, truly believe that food is our medicine, and that's what we are preaching about. So that's the story for today. I encourage you to read that book. It's a very short book. It's very pleasant and very encouraging. It's a good book to share because it's easy to read. I wish you a wonderful week. Thank you for listening. Please share this podcast if you appreciate it. Please share and give me a thumbs up on the social media so the work that I do can be recognized. Thank you again. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.